Welcome, everybody. My name is Michael Rosenzweig. I am the managing director of Touro Berlin and heading the recruitment department. And I will be your host or guiding you through this open house for today. So let me start with a small structure of today's open house. So I'll give you a rough introduction, small introduction via PowerPoint presentation. Then it will be our beloved professor, Professor Dr. Klipstein, who is a professor of finance, who will tell you about our business program. And Professor Klipstein is also a former dean. Then we'll have Isabelle Padar, the vice president of our student government and a business student at Touro College Berlin. And she'll tell you about student life, how it is to be part of the Touro family, and about the study experience, and also what is student government about. And then it's time for our alumni, Miss Besida Mekollari, to tell about her alumni experience. Besida is a graduate from Touro. She was studying here, doing her BSc and her MBA. So she will tell you about what was it like, but also what was her path, what did she pursue, what did she achieve, and how did Touro help her to be part of her amazing career. Then it's time for Scott Meyer, our admissions officer. Scott will give you in a nutshell the whole admission process. And the key here is basically to get to know him, because he will be one of the most important people for you to rely on for your journey with us once you started. And then last but not least, it's time for our recruitment officer, Gibbesch. Tal will tell you about student services, scholarships, housing, many more. Tal is a powerhouse, so she will present a lot. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A section. So once you have questions after we presented ourselves, that would be the time to ask those. So let's go. An American university in Berlin, indeed, we are. So founded in 2003, Touro College Berlin is part of a huge international network, which is the Touro College and University system that is based in New York. Touro College Berlin is a university where students are prepared for the professional world with a broad, in-depth education and skills needed to excel in the international arenas of the 21st century. Our multicultural student environment is conducive to learning and gives you a unique perspective to collaboration and teamwork for each student. We strive to provide the unique opportunity of an international education entirely in English in Berlin on a beautiful campus. And we are the only higher education institute to offer dual degrees accredited in Germany and in the US. So earn an American degree and or a German degree for the same tuition. Our programs are accredited by both countries and taught in English. So you have the option to get a dual degree, which means the world is yours. You have the opportunity to work in Europe, but also in the US afterwards. In Germany, we are accredited by the German Wissenschaftsrat and ACQUIS, an agency for accreditation. And as an American degree, we are accredited by the Middle States and the New York Department of Education, which is very prestigious. We do offer small class sizes, and you get to know your professors personally. You are part of a family and not just a number. I can tell you from my own experience, I studied law in a university in Germany, a public university, and the first 3 years I had classes with around 400 students. So 400 students towards one professor. With us, with an American way of teaching and being a private university, it's going to be 10 students, 15 students, sometimes even 9 students. So very familiar, you'll get to know your professors, they'll be approachable for you. That's our approach to teaching. Our professors are very well connected. There will be unique opportunities for internship and to start a successful career with first employment. We do offer, as said before, tailor-made teaching and learning methods, and financial aid, housing, scholarships is all available. So being part of this network, the Touro University and College system, means that after the pandemic is over, you can go abroad for a semester. How about studying in LA with us, or in New York, in Moscow, Nevada, or go to the Holy City, to Jerusalem? All that is possible. I often get asked, what's your campus like? What's the student body like? So here's our statistic on diversity, meaning a big chunk comes from Germany, but that doesn't mean these are German Germans. Obviously German students, but also expats and people who initially just live in Germany, then from the US, being an American university, and then Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Russia, Asia, Africa, Israel, the Middle East, you name it. Counting, I basically gave it up, but roughly 60 nationalities are present at the moment at our campus. Most important question is, once you study at a private university, what will you do afterwards with your degree? So people who joined us, who studied at Touro Berlin, went with big corporations like Coca-Cola, Gazprom, they went into banking, they went into the property business with JLL, into pharmaceuticals with Parexel, or trading at Euronext. So a lot of opportunities with a degree from Touro Berlin. But it's not only about studying, it's also about student life, the American student life. And there we have our great student government. So a lot of activities, many more to come, but we'll do offer student clubs, events, holiday celebrations, group sessions, and hopefully once pandemic is over, we'll all meet back on the campus. And this is our campus, a little glimpse on how Touro Berlin's campus looks like. And on top of that, we use the pandemic time wisely and use that for digitalization. So we have brand new computer classes, and all our big classrooms are now equipped with hybrid teaching facilities, meaning we have huge 86, 75-inch screens, whiteboards with professional cameras on top. So we are equipped for hybrid teaching, meaning, for example, if you are stuck in Spain for whatever reason, or you can't make it on time to campus, you can stay home from the day, log on virtually, and join your class via Zoom once the pandemic is over. But obviously, nothing beats in-person teaching. So thank you very much for your attention. Please feel free to reach out, write us an email, give us a call, follow us, join on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, or just come by with an appointment. We have all the health and security measures here to get to know us. So now I would turn over to Professor Klipstein for her presentation.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. And also from my side, very warm welcome to everyone to our open house. I'm very pleased to introduce you into the business program of Touro College Berlin. Our program has 2 levels, the undergraduate level with the bachelor degree, and as it was mentioned, with both accreditation, German one accreditation and American one. So those who would like to have 2 diplomas can get it at the same time simultaneously with us, with Touro College Berlin. And according to our experience and experience of our graduates, it's of a big value because it's something special. You know, within the same period of time, it's roughly 7 semesters, you can obtain both degrees, and you can continue your career with the international multinational companies, or you can also start your own business. We also have the graduate program, which is the MBA program, Master of Business Administration, and this is the pure American program. That means that after you have your bachelor degree, you can continue with us, working during the day and then study in the evening, or you can first gain your working experience and then you can continue the education with Master of Business Administration program. Also, as it was mentioned, the Touro College is an American university. It's the part of the Touro University systems with a big network of institutions all over the United States, in Israel, and Moscow, in Berlin. So we really benefit from this network. So we collaborate with our colleagues. Our students can have a semester abroad. And you can also book an online classes with, for instance, Touro College, New York. If you decide to go for the business program on the bachelor level, undergraduate level, you will have the Bachelor of Science as the result of your education, and you can focus on different areas. You can choose for you to go for management, or you can focus more on marketing, or you can go for finance degree. And in addition, you can combine the required business courses with some electives in the field of psychology. This is possibility we can provide with our students. And this is for business very beneficial because business is psychology. We also assist our students in regard to the internship, and we help our successful students to start their career with our partners, with the companies in Berlin, in Germany, and worldwide. What is our focus in the business faculty at Touro Berlin? It's a higher level of education. So we are also academic program, but we are not only purely academic program. We also very much connected with the practice of business. In our focus, we have entrepreneurship. So we teach how to start the business. We teach how to lead and develop this business to the success. We have a research project which are connected with the digital transformation of the economy, which we all experience now. And this is very important point to understand what will come next. And we also have research projects, and we have workshops and debate on the topic of financial markets, how to invest successfully. So these all questions and these all areas are covered within the business program. And if you will have questions later on, I will be more than happy to answer it.
Thank you very much, Anna. And I must mention that Anna knows what she's talking about. She's not only a professor, but is a former banker. So you get somebody as a professor who is basically with a hand on business and not just talking about the academic field solely. So now it's time for Isabelle. Isabelle, tell us about your experience at Touro.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Isabelle Padar. I am a 6th semester student here at Touro College Berlin. I am studying business marketing, and I'm also the vice president of the student government. Just a little introduction about myself. I was born and raised here in Berlin, Germany, and I have Turkish and Persian background. And it was always important for me to go to an international university, a small one, here in Germany, because I also went to a small high school, and I really like this one-on-one that you have with the professors, for example, here at Touro, and that's something I definitely recommend. It's great because I joined Touro 1 year before Corona happened, so I was able to see how the professors reacted on campus and how they were able to continue the studies online, and I think they did an amazing job with that. Um, during, for example, break time during classes on Zoom, before class or even after class, we like to stay in and talk to one another, update each other on our lives, see how everyone's doing. It's really a great way to keep each other sane during this lockdown. So that's an amazing thing that Toro is doing for us. And I'm just going to talk a little about my role in the student government. And as the vice president, my job is to oversee projects and oversee the events that we're planning, managing and making sure that these are set on time and actually launched on time. And I also fill in for the president in times when they can't attend meetings, or just make sure that I can also overtake that role when I need to. So yeah, and as student government, we like to connect with the students as much as we can. We do so over our WhatsApp group chat. There's a group chat for all the students. There's also a separate one for psychology students, and therefore we also have, in the student government, we have a business representative and also a psychology representative. So, we can really make sure that each department side are being heard, and that way just try to improve the student life as much as we can. And besides that, we also have an Instagram account. There's a Touro College Berlin Instagram account and a separate one for the student government. And I would definitely recommend to follow that one. We are going to post our flyers for our clubs. And it's also important to look at our stories because we like to post about our events, like I said, about the clubs. If there's a Q&A or anything going on, just make sure you follow us there to keep you updated. Those will also obviously come through your student email, but I prefer social media. So if you're someone who does that too, then perfect. And yeah, so recently, the student government, we launched a few clubs, some of them being the politics club and yoga club. And we make sure that every student is welcome there. So it doesn't matter if you're a psychology or a business student, if you have interest in politics or yoga, you can feel free to join that. And it's also nice to make friends that way and just connect with other people from the other department. And we are currently focusing on launching 2 more clubs, them being a personal development club and an entrepreneurship club. And obviously we're working hard to launch even more clubs, but that's still a work in progress. So besides clubs, we also have implemented a few events. In the past, post-corona, pre-corona, we came up with this wonderful idea of making a Valentine's Day bake sale where we prepared everything a few days before, setting it up and decorating. And then each member of student government would bake something, cookies, brownies, cakes, or bring donuts, whatever it may be. And that was a great way for us to try and raise some money for our student government budget, which we can implement in possibly making a student lounge or whatever. But sadly, right after the bake sale, Corona hit us, so we haven't been able to go back onto campus or do anything about that. But believe me, we're working hard, and as soon as we get back on there, we're going to try our best to make it the best. And besides the bake sale, we have a TCB Talks event coming up, and it's technically something like a TED Talk where we have students come and hold speeches and talk about, for example, motivation or something great that they overcame in their life, how they can, just motivate other students. And that is also a great opportunity if you're looking to practice in your public speaking skills. And I think that would also look great. We could always post these on LinkedIn, and it's also a great opportunity. And we're also trying to focus on getting the students together as much as possible online, since we obviously can't meet in person. So we're implementing something like a Netflix party where we could all join together and watch movies, maybe have some popcorn, and just try to connect with one another. That was basically most of what we are working on as student government. And besides that, my experience personally at Toro has been amazing. What I love most, like I mentioned before, are these small classrooms, the opportunity to make friends. It's really not that hard because, you know, you're all, like, it's true when they say it's a Touro family, because you are becoming a family, because there's we're all just get to have this opportunity to become closer to one another and learn in this safe and comfortable environment. And like Michael had mentioned, there are people from all over the world, different cultures, and we accept everyone, and we try our best to, I mean, I feel so comfortable in these classes. I feel like I've made so many friends, and that's also something that Toro really wants to focus on and make sure that that everyone's always accepted. And yeah, it's really great to learn more about different cultures. I mean, I was born and raised here, and it's great to meet people that come from all over the world that want to join Toro because of this international international environment. And I definitely recommend it. So please join our family. And yeah, stay tuned. There's going to be a Q&A, a private Q&A with me afterwards. You can just ask me any questions you want to know about student life, and it's going to be posted in the chat as well. And also our Instagram, just make sure you follow that and you stay tuned for what we're planning to do more. So yeah, thank you. Back to you, Michael.
Thanks, Isabella. Thank you for your insights. Very interesting. Always love what the student government is up to. So next is Besida Mekollari, our alumni. Besida, stage is yours.
Thank you, Michael. Hello, everyone. This is Besida, and I'm a former student and alumni of Touro College Berlin, and currently I'm employed as a consultant at Allianz. I would like to talk today about my experience as a student at Touro College Berlin, and then move on and talk about my work experience, so my life after graduation, what happened once I, graduated, and what happened next. So I would like to actually describe my experience at Touro College Berlin as an absolutely positive one, and actually maybe even as the key driver of my work experience later on. And there's a number of reasons why I say that. The first one I'd like to point out is the academic body. So the professors at Touro College Berlin have an excellent academic preparation. And what I mean by that is that they actually have extensive knowledge and expertise in their field of work. But not only that, actually, if you have a question or if you'd like to get support, the professors are always there for you. And if you'd like to deep dive in a topic of interest, then of course the professors will make sure to provide you with the support, the means, or the material in order to get you there actually. And if I go back in time, there's actually one aspect that I really did enjoy during my studies that was also mentioned before by Isabelle, and that's the international and multicultural environment. The student body at Touro College Berlin is really international, like myself and other people. They come from all parts of the world, so from different continents, different countries. And yeah, one might think, okay, it's good to be surrounded by international classmates, but actually it's really crucial, because you might be like reading about a concept or a theory, but when you hear about the interpretation that your classmate might have on the very same concept and theory and business case, then you're actually enriched. You get more information, and then you get more knowledge about how certain business cases or theories or concepts or topics can be interpreted by different cultures and backgrounds. In addition to that, actually, I think a very crucial element about my studies was the fact that the study was entirely held in English. So as we all know, English, business English is a key ingredient if you want to make it in the business world. And at Touro College Berlin, you have the opportunity to actually complete your studies from A to Z in English. But above all, what's actually really, really like the greatest element, I would say, is the fact that you'd be studying in Berlin. And Berlin is one of those cities. Unfortunately, right now I've been living and working for 2 years in Munich because of my work. But Berlin is one of those cities that you really do enjoy when you're a student. Why? Because Berlin offers you the events, the activities, the nature. It has all the components that make the student life really vivid and really awesome. But what I would like to highlight is actually the opportunity that you have at Touro College Berlin, which is really something that you don't usually find with other universities or colleges. And that's the fact that you can balance your work and your study. When I was studying at Touro College Berlin, I actually had the opportunity to work at the same time and actually manage both my work and study, because the program does allow you to do that. Because I had this opportunity to collect work experience. This was actually very valuable later on when I actually graduated and had all this accumulated work experience during my studies. So you actually study, you collect all the theory, but at the same time you can actually work and still manage your bachelor and master studies in a very good manner. Once I graduated, actually, I did manage to apply all the theory and all the work experience in my next opportunity, which was Allianz. There were thousands of opportunities that were actually offered, not just to myself, but my other classmates as well. But actually, I decided to go for Allianz, which is my current employee. For those of you that don't know Allianz, Allianz is the largest insurer worldwide, and also it's the largest financial institution in the world. I'm currently working as a consultant, and I'm actually working again in a very multicultural and international environment, because my projects vary from Singapore to the UK to Spain. And I think the background and the experience that I collected at Toro really helps me with my current work. In addition to that, my current work is, the projects not only vary when it comes to the global location, but actually they also vary in terms of topics. One project might be focusing on performance management, the other one on strategy implementation, market management, etc. But I would say overall that absolutely studying at Toro did help me to actually be at where I am today, because I actually experienced the extensive knowledge that was taught to me by my professors. I experienced the multicultural environment. I did manage to have my degree in English, and I had the opportunity to balance my work and my studies at the same time. I'd like to thank Toro for the opportunity and the whole experience that I had during my time there. And with that said, I would like to hand over back to you, Michael. And of course, if you have any questions to all of you, feel free to do so at the end of the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Besida, for your insight, and what an amazing career. So next on my list is Scott Meyer, our admissions officer. Scott, stage is yours.
Thank you for the introduction, Michael. Thank you, Professor Klipstein, and especially thank you to Isabelle and Besida for all that really valuable kind of insight for our prospective students to Turo. And thank you everyone at home for joining us today. I'm Scott Meyer, the admissions officer here at Touro College Berlin. And today I'd like to give you an overview of our undergraduate admissions, kind of the approach and processes that we run. So as already mentioned, a big advantage of studying at Touro College Berlin is our small class sizes, right? So to ensure our students get the most out of these, we look to accept motivated, passionate, prepared students, students who want to be in these classes and want to get the most out of this opportunity. So to that end, we try to get as full a picture of our applicants as possible, looking beyond grades. So obviously grades are very important, but to us, they're not everything. So for example, we ask our applicants to produce a letter of motivation. Why are you applying to Toro? What interests you about business? Also a letter of recommendation from someone who can vouch for your commitment to learning, your attitude in the classroom, how you approach new challenges. And importantly, we interview all our applicants. I say an interview, but I like to think of it more of kind of a discussion where you sit down with myself and one of our professors, like Professor Klipstein, and we have a good talk about your past experiences, your grades, your plans for the future, your passion to study. But we also like to encourage that you also ask us as many questions as you like to make sure this is a good fit for everybody. The admission process itself. So this is kind of a simple two-step affair. So the first step is to submit all your application documents, and the second step will be the interview that I just mentioned. We process applications on an ongoing basis. So that means that we'll begin processing your application as soon as you provide us all your application documents. We won't wait until the application deadline has expired and then start processing. We'll do it so you can get an early acceptance if you provide us your documents early. Generally speaking, we can turn around an application and give an official response, a decision within about 3 weeks. So pretty quick if you need to organize visas and whatnot. For the sake of timeliness, I won't rattle off every single document that we require from you. There's a nice comprehensive list on our website under the How to Apply page. But my main point today is I want to impress on you that I am here to help guide you through the entire process. Should you encounter any hiccups, have any concerns, or just need someone to kind of be there for you while you apply. I know personally that navigating university admissions can sometimes be quite daunting, can be confusing. Sometimes it feels like you're sending application documents into a void, you don't hear from anybody. So at Toro, we strive to be different. We're responsive, we're hands-on. You will find our admissions office and really any of the administrative offices on campus to be approachable, flexible, and solutions-oriented. So, like for example, if you're having trouble getting official documents or transcripts due to COVID restrictions, you can apply with scans of these documents and simply provide the official copies at a later point once you get them. If you need to get a TOEFL, a English proficiency certificate, but you can't get a testing date till after the application deadline, or maybe you've been out of school for a number of years and you can't get a letter of recommendation from a teacher easily. Do not panic. Simply contact me at admissions@touroberlin.de and we can work out a solution. That's no problem at all, I'm sure. So I urge you all to come join us. I also urge you to put in any specific questions you might have for me into the chat so I can answer them during the Q&A at the end of this. Otherwise, contact me directly on my email or on my direct phone number that you can find on the website. Apply now, take advantage of our early bird discounts, and I hope to hear from you all very soon. Back to you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Scott. And now basically you have the face for all your admission questions. So next on my list is, last but not least, Gibbesch. Tao, our recruitment officer, stage is yours.
Hi, thank you very much. Yeah, mine. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can.
We can hear you.
And you can see me, just to make sure.
And we can see you.
Okay, good. So I'm the recruitment officer at Touro College Berlin, and I also responsible for student services. That's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to do it pretty quick because we have a few questions that I want us to get answers to. So basically, student services take care of, obviously, the contact with the student government. So we work together to do a lot of activities, as Isabelle mentioned. Also, student government department is responsible for career development consulting, which means to consult the students how to write CV, how to find an internship, how to find a future job or a job as a student. Ask for connections and use our network of professors in order to make it more efficient for the students. We also offer workshops for the students, like motivation workshop that we had last month. And next is the workshop for career development from professional HR professional that worked in Berlin and around the world, and will give advice how to tips for interviews for students and how to write CV exactly for specific business and psychology. So it would be really, really nice for us. We also offer housing for students who are enrolled in Touro College Berlin. We offer full furnished apartments or rooms in reasonable prices within 45 minutes public transportation ride from campus, and very nice house management. They speak English, they have special terms, special prices for our students. And this is, you're eligible to housing as long as you're a Touro student. And minimum stay is 4 months. We help you with the process, so not a problem with that. We also offer discounts for our students in businesses in Berlin, even in times of Corona. Businesses like Yoga Hub, restaurants, bars, etc. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the scholarships. We offer a lot of scholarships. Basically, we try to guide you to the right scholarship, help you apply if needed. Nationality, profession, religion, we can help you find the right scholarship for you. This is basically from the student services point of view. And yes, Michael, I would like to hand it back to you and ask everybody to turn on their video and audio so we can answer the questions that we got, if possible.
So thank you very much. Two last things I just want to mention for those. Scott mentioned it briefly, that we will have, so stay tuned, an early bird discount. And this time, the early bird discount will be an iPad. So for those who join us early, they will start their semester with a brand new iPad. And I think that's quite compelling. And on top of that, stay also tuned for a special scholarship that we are about to issue. That's going to be the Rectorate's scholarship for hopefully all aligned for the upcoming semester. So stay tuned for that as well. So now let's start with our Q&A.
Yeah, I think the first question that we have interests everybody. How do you handle classes during Corona time? Maybe Michael, you want to take it, and maybe
Sure.
Professor Klipstein?
I can tell you. So basically, we have to follow to what the Berlin Senate as the government issues and regulations, and for the moment up until I think 3 or 4 months, it's gonna be that all classes have to be online. So how we handle them right now is that our classes are conducted via Zoom by our professors, and because this is going on now for more than a year, I would say that we are quite professional in online teaching by now. So that is the one side to the answer from me. And the other is, once it is allowed, we will be back on campus, and for that we have in our drawer all the hygiene regulations and the hygiene handbook, so all the facilities in terms of killing germs, being on campus, having your social distance, even if pandemic is not over, are prepped. So once is it back allowed, we'll be on campus 100%. That would be from my side, from the administrative side, but I would love to hear Anna's answer to that as a professor, so somebody who has really the insight on the online teaching.
Yeah, thank you. So pandemic is definitely a challenge, not only for our university, but for other institutions, for the schools and universities around the world. But I must say, Michael, you mentioned in your presentation the new equipment, or related the new equipment we acquired at the beginning of the pandemic, and I am very happy to use it. It's a big screen with a zoom camera, which is moving around with a good audio equipment, and this allows us to have a feeling that you have a kind of an extended classroom, so that the students are not just sitting at home, but they're really engaged in their to be in a remote classroom. And for my financial class especially, it's very important because we use whiteboard, we do calculations, we have to do the case studies together, and I use this equipment and I appreciate it very much, and I think my students also do it.
Thank you very much. We have a question here, and maybe Besida or Isabelle can answer. Can students work simultaneously while they study in Berlin?
Sure, I'll get started with that, and please, Isabelle, feel free to add in. During my studies, actually, I was working simultaneously. So I was a working student initially at Nokia and then at ADAC. And actually, you can absolutely manage to balance your work and your studies, because the program does allow you to do that. I can totally recall from other students that I knew back in the day that were studying at other universities that did not have this option, and it was actually not feasible to manage both work and studying. But it definitely worked well with my studies, bachelor and master studies at Touro. And maybe Isabelle would like to add into that.
Yeah, thank you, Besida. I definitely agree with you. A lot of my friends are also working and studying at the same time, and for them it's also quite easy to manage both of those together. And if you're looking for a job, I also know that TAL often sends out some job opportunities or internship opportunities for you. So Touro definitely supports that, and I think it's not a problem to manage both.
Thank you. Yes, I do post on our stories on Instagram, so it's a good thing to actually check our stories from time to time when you're a student here. Also, I think one question that relates to this is basically, maybe Scott can answer this. If you have to take certain amount of classes during the semester, or you can choose what to take and when.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, this ties in with what Besida was saying, that the program offers certain flexibility and that students can book as many classes or as few classes as they wish per semester, to kind of, depending on what they have going on outside of their studies. So they can book up to 6 classes, that's the maximum. That's full-time, it's quite a lot of work, but maybe if you are doing an internship during the semester or working, you can kind of reduce that down essentially to 1 if you wished, but of course that's going to extend the length of your studies. Generally speaking, 5 or 6 is the standard amount of courses to take per semester, but it's up to the students to decide every semester how much they want.
Okay, I'll use this opportunity to ask you another question, that because we're in Germany, and even though classes are in English, do we have to know German?
From an admissions point of view, you do not. We do not require our students to know any German because all our classes are taught in English exclusively. So you may need to provide proof of your English, but not German. But of course, if you want to live and work in Germany, it's a good idea to at least know some basics of German. Berlin itself is super cosmopolitan, it's very international, and English is widely spoken, so it's very easy to get around. Often you might try to speak German here and people will respond to you in English because their English is so great. But it does help. It helps with the experience, I think. You come here and you can immerse yourself a bit more in life here if you know a bit of the language.
Okay. I think that's also for you, the next question, sorry. Can we directly apply to the German public universities after studied in Touro? Or do we give a certificate, an entrance for a master's education?
Yeah, so our curricula are designed to kind of meet all the requirements of the German educational authorities. So you can certainly continue your studies in German institutions if you wish after you've studied here. Absolutely.
Okay. A question for Professor Klipstein. Do you do you do some practical aspects in your classes, for example, to meet real businessmen that can provide another point of view and not academic?
We do, definitely, of course, and I consider this as a very important part of our studies. Luckily, we have quite good relationship to the different businesses here in Germany. So we have a chance to talk either with the founder of the company or with the chairman of the board of directors of the company. So we have a possibility to have an business experience out of the first hand. And also what we do in our classrooms, we combine the theories with the case studies. And especially if you study business, it's essential because later on, if you will design your own business or if you will follow your career within the big organization, then you need some practical tools and experiences, and we provide our students with.
So another question, I imagine you can answer that, or maybe Scott can add. What's the difference between German degree and US degree when concerned with curriculum?
Yeah, there are some differences. In the American curriculum or degree, it's a little bit longer because of the general education classes. You have to conduct in line with this degree, and the German degree requires internship. This is not mandatory with the American degree, but it's required within the German program, and also the bachelor thesis is required for the German degree. These are the main differences.
If I may, I want to steal one question regarding scholarships that was here. How and when do we apply for a scholarship if it's after one semester? So no, you don't have to be here after one semester. You can apply to scholarships before you start your studies. You need for every scholarship, you need to have enrollment approval from admissions from Scott. With that, if you match all the terms of the scholarship, so then it would be possible to apply even before starting. We help to find as long as you're enrolled already. Yeah, and the same for the Rectorat scholarship that we already talked about. So that might be open. We will announce later this year if it will be open to students who like freshmen.
Be nice to Scott.
I think everyone is nice to Scott. Huh?
Yes, of course.
Yes, I'm very happy at Toro. Everyone's very nice to me.
I have another question. Maybe Besida can answer that. How did you find a job after Touro, after you graduated? What were the opportunities that you had, if you can specify more than you already have?
Yeah, sure. Actually, maybe an element I forgot to mention when I was talking about my experience at Touro College Berlin is the connections that you build. I really like the term Touro College Berlin family. It was not there when I was studying, but it is actually like that. So because you're part of this family, you do manage to know people, and then they know you. They know your studying skills, your working skills, and in a way that actually absolutely helps you into actually getting a job after your graduation.
Thank you. Another question, maybe, well, you can take it. Are there student fairs in Touro?
Actually, I do recall there were a couple of student fairs when I was a student. There were a number of companies that would actually be there, starting from the Big Four. Actually, that's a good point. Maybe Allianz should be there. I need to make sure to reach out to my employee. And for those that like finances and insurance, why not? They should be there. But fairs is absolutely a way that you directly get to know the business, the industry, and the employee in the first glance. So that is another way that students at Touro College Berlin can get access to a job opportunity after they graduate or even during their studies.
Well, I would build on that and say, like, there was a format called Touro Meets Business, but obviously in times of Corona, we cannot hold a fair on our beautiful campus. But once all that is over, that will be back on track. And a little bit of a spoiler alarm, we are working on exactly that, having a format also with the Big Four, meaning it's KPMG, PwC, Deloitte, and who's it else? Help me, I forgot one.
Deloitte.
Ernst & Young or Deloitte?
Deloitte.
So that is also in the pipeline. And last thing, to spoil a little bit more, is stay tuned. We'll be in cooperation with quite a famous sports club in Berlin in terms of business relations as well. So definitely, we do have a broad personal network here presented by Klipstein, but also with all our other professors, but also an institutional network, meaning our Touro network.
Thank you. I think we're going to take this one last question. I guess for Isabelle, for you, they save it to the private sphere, so no one else would hear. Can we change our degree type from US to German and vice versa while we are undergoing one of the courses? Scott, I guess.
Yeah, I can answer that. Yes, you can. You can add, if you're starting the American degree, you can add the German degree later, and vice versa, or you can drop one later and switch to the other. So it's fairly flexible in that respect. Of course, it's better to kind of make your mind up fairly soon, so you're not taking courses you don't need, because most courses cost credit, but not all. But you will have a study advisor when you're on campus. So you sit with somebody every time you come to select your courses for the next semester, someone like myself, and we can kind of advise you what you want to take, what you should be taking. Are you planning to add this other course, this other degree program in the future? You should consider taking these classes now, that kind of thing. Yeah, so in short, yes, certainly you can do that, but better to talk to one of us before making up your mind.
So we got one last question, is for Isabelle. So I really, how much time do we spend studying each day at a normal Touro day? Is it overburdening or relaxed?
I can't necessarily say how much each day because it really does depend on the classes that you take. Some classes do require more time to study, you know, outside of the class time, and some require less. But I can say it's not necessarily overburdening. And if you do feel that way, because you do have this one-on-one with your professor, you have this opportunity to also contact them. And, you know, because of Corona, everyone's obviously very understanding with what might be going on. So I think it's not necessarily, you don't have to worry too much about classes being too overburdening.
And maybe I can add on something very shortly. We allow maximum 6 courses per semester. You can book less. It's depending on your working schedule, depending on your resistance to the workload with the university. And if you book less than 6 courses, it's not necessarily means that you are slow in your study progress, because we do offer also summer school. So you can stretch your plan of your courses between the semesters, and you can have 1 or 2 courses during the summer school.
Okay, I think that for now, that's, you know, enough for now. And all other questions regarding student life, I'm sure that people would ask Isabelle. You still have the link in the chat. And Michael, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. So that was our last section, the Q&A. So what do we have else to say? So first of all, thank you to all participants. Thank you, Isabelle. Thank you, Besida. Thank you to our admin team. Thank you to Tao, to Scott, and Professor Klipstein. Thank you for joining us today. I think it was a great experience for everybody, and hopefully we'll see each other back on campus in person and have a cup of coffee. But until then, I would say stay healthy and see you via Zoom. That's the way it is. So take care, be healthy, and see you on the next one.
Goodbye.
See you then. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys.
Bye.